Hello, everybody. It is draft night here at RealTime Fantasy Sports. I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer with RealTime Fantasy Sports, joined by the great Howard Bender. Howard, how is it going?
It's going great. I'm telling you, man. I'm excited about draft season right now, doing another one of these fantasy life drafts. I've got slow drafts up the wazoo going on for the Beat Bender League. I mean, this is it. This is my wheelhouse, Jeff. This is my wheelhouse.
It's a great time of year. We were just talking before we came on as well. I mean, training camps are starting. It's always a lot of fun when that starts happening. You start getting some buzz and guys start getting built up and people are really in draft mode as well. Like you mentioned, you're in a lot of drafts right now. These Fantasy Life Championship drafts are filling up every night also. So if you want to get in one of these, you can sign up, go to RTSports.com, click on that Money League link, and then you can see all the offerings we have on there. And someone was asking in the chat earlier, how do I sign up for one of these? I want to be in this league with Howard and be on the air. We post out on X, but it fills up pretty quick. You posted it there a couple days ago, and I think it filled up in a day or so. And so if you see it out there, and if you see us tweet it out on X or put it out on the X, whatever you call it these days, just sign up sooner than later if you want to get in it. Everybody wants to try to take you down, Howard. I think that's the mode.
And you know what? And I'm fine with that. I'm 100% fine with that. The more the merrier. Bring it on. Can't wait. I'm having a blast doing it. And you know what? I mean, listen, the crew, I'm dialed in right now. I'm dialed in. So, I feel like we're in a really nice spot. It's creeping up on my pick. It's so funny, Jeff, like doing these alone versus doing them with you. It's like, okay. Now I can really take a look and see what we got going on here.
Yeah, it's got to be tough. Those alone broadcasts, you're trying to draft and do everything by yourself. It's tough. I'll try to help you out here and let you make your pick when you're coming up here. You're picking 8th. I'll try to set the scene for everybody. Chris Kangles is picking 1st, and then Miami Vice, Flaming O, Win 17, Lane Meyer, Doltz, War 9, Roto Buzz is you, Howard. You're picking 8th. End Zone Club, Vegas, Sandos, Fozzie Dog, our friend Fozzie Dog, and then Suncoast is the last pick in the 12th hole. That's our friend Rouse Shiavon. Howard's on the clock right now. The first 7 picks were Jahmyr Gibbs. Christian McCaffrey went 2nd, which I don't see a whole lot. Normally it's Bijan or Jamar Chase. So Miami Vice wanted Christian McCaffrey, last year's big-time fantasy back. He went 2nd, then Bijan Robinson, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and now Howard's up. So we had 4 straight receivers after those first 3 running backs, and Howard's trying to decide who to take. At this point, it's going to be a tough call for you there, Howard. Lots of different ways you can go here.
This went very receiver heavy right in front of me, heavier than I thought. I did not think that Ashton Genty would fall down to me this far. So I'm looking at this as like an oh baby happy accident for me. I was thinking about should I take Jonathan Taylor here, right? Because I have so many shares of Ashton Genty already, and I'm like, oh wait, that's the Beat Howard Bender League. That's not this. This is so Fantasy Life Championship, this plays out. 12-team league, do battle. Yes, there's an overall grand prize, but you're setting lineups every week. You're playing waivers every week. This ain't no best ball house. So I'm going to rock it with Ashton Genty here with my first pick. I don't remember. I guess I'll have to go back and look at the team that I drafted the last time that you and I did this, Jeff, but I tell you, man,
you picked around 7 or 8 for that one too, if I'm not mistaken.
So I don't remember. I'm gonna look it up right now. check out my other team and see what I did. Here we go. Because this draft here, the one that I'm talking about right now that we did before, that was late June. That was the 25th.
Okay.
And what pick did I have?
It's been about a month.
It has been a month. And I had the third pick.
Oh, okay.
In that one there. Maybe. I had the third pick, so I did not take Ashton Genty with that pick. I amazed and delighted everybody with a Jamar Chase grab.
There you go. So Genty, you have to love, like, what I like about Genty is I just think the workload's going to be monster for him. I don't love the receiver core at all. Brock Bowers is pretty much the only guy I think is going to be dependable in the passing game. I think Genty will catch a lot of passes too, but I think Genty's just going to get a ton of touches. So I think that's what makes him so exciting. His floor is just tremendous in my opinion. What's your thoughts on Genty?
Listen, I am 100% in on Genty. I absolutely love him. I mean, what more can I say about a guy who, it's the Clint Kubiak, Rick Dennison scheme is what it comes down to. And
Yep.
We've talked about this, since you and I have been talking about this forever. Dating back to when Gary Kubiak was running this scheme. We saw what it did for the running backs in Seattle last year. We've seen what it does for running backs in general. So I love it, man. I am totally fine with it. With Ashton Genty as a guy, I do believe, it's going to be interesting because the games really do need to stay competitive and the Raiders need to be doing well for them to really just be like, we're going to run a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be the interesting aspect. Like, even if they're losing, is Genty the guy who's on the field in the late, fourth quarter and on the passing downs? Is he the guy in there in the 2-minute drill? So I think that's something that we definitely have to kind of figure out with him this year, because if he is that guy, he's going to blow up. Yeah. He's going to blow up.
So after Genty, Jonathan Taylor went, then James Cook, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. That rounds out the first round. All running backs and receivers in the first round. Not a surprise to see that. So Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Howard took Ashton Genty, then Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. And then to start the second round, we see Omara and Hampton, A.J. Brown, and then Chase Brown. Again, nothing too out of the ordinary with any of these picks. Pretty much kind of chalk for the most part. I get A.J. Brown. That's maybe a little sooner than you see him normally go. So Fozzie Dog took him at the start of the second round. But again, you can't really argue too many of these picks. Howard, you're up right now, so I will let you try to figure out what to do in this spot. Again, you can go.
I know, because I really wanted Chase Brown, dude. I was like,
I like Brown too. I feel like Brown is just super safe. But like, he has no competition in Cincinnati. I do not like any of their backup options, and I think Brown has a great weekly floor. I don't think a lot of people think of him as the most exciting fantasy back in the world, but I really like his floor. You took Nico Collins as your wide receiver number one. Talk me through that pick, Howard.
I mean, listen, I'm a huge fan of Nico Collins. I think people undersell this guy so much because I don't even know why. Maybe they don't like CJ Stroud. Maybe they worry about Stroud on the road. Nico's been banged up before. I don't really understand. I mean, this is an elite level wide receiver one who can, immediately. I mean, he can hit you with 1,200 to 1,500 yards without batting an eye. He's going to get the deep plays. I think in year two of Nick Caley's offensive scheme, I think Stroud's going to be more comfortable. I think Nico's going to take advantage of that. I think they're going to still kind of, hit him with the bulk of the target. So, I mean, I love having that elite level wide receiver one. I would have preferred to have taken Chase Brown because I think people, when people talk about Burrow and Chase and Higgins, I don't really know if they're like diving into really some of the changes that the Cincinnati Bengals have been making. Number one, they're trying to improve their defense.
Yep.
which means that we're not looking at a bunch of shootouts at the end of the in the second half, right? They like to use that short, high percentage passing to set up the run. And the beautiful thing about Chase Brown is that he's the only one there. I mean, sure, P. Ryan's floating around, but overall here, this is Chase Brown's backfield. Very limited competition for touches, and they wanna get to a point. Zach Taylor wants to get to a point where he just runs the football, and that's something that I think a lot of people kind of misinterpret when they look at the Cincinnati Bengals offensive scheme.
So you're watching the Fantasy Life Championship Draft here at RealTime Fantasy Sports. As always, if you have any questions or comments about anything, some of you have already started chatting in the room here. If you have anything at all you want to ask Howard or I, or have questions about the new draft room or anything, feel free to put them in there. We will definitely get to them. And I want to talk about that new draft room.
I was just going to say, take them for a spin.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it up and let everybody see this. So we're really proud of it. I know, again, nobody likes change. Totally understand. We've had people with our site from the beginning, and it's tough when you bring new stuff on, and it's going to take some getting used to for everybody. So we totally understand that, but we really think everybody's going to like this new draft room here. As you can see on here, we have all sorts of different features. I kind of like the button, it fills in the quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and tight ends and kickers that have been picked or not picked yet. I think that's kind of a neat feature. You can see that it populates right under that search players bar. I think that's really kind of cool. Kind of helps you keep track of everything, see what positions are going, what positions aren't going.
Wait, where are you looking at?
Yeah, it's right.
That cursor on. Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, the bar.
Yeah.
Bar right across there.
Yes. So it populates there when the positions are getting picked. I think that's kind of a nice feature to have because a lot of people want to know, get certain part of the draft. You want to see how many quarterbacks have been picked or tight ends have been picked and, kickers, all that stuff. I think it's a nice little feature. We've never had that before, but I like that a lot. And just like our old one, we have that Q button there. If you want to hit that, this is on Howard's page here, so I'm not going to try to divulge stuff. This is you. I'm logged in as a commish, but I put you in the thing there just because I didn't want to look at anybody else's.
Let me click everybody off of my queue.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you can click through like that activity little thing there. You can search by picks. You can scroll up and down on that. You can go to the chat right there. You see a lot of people are talking in there. And then the rules come up here too. Then you have notes. You can actually make your own notes. So if you want to come up with a draft plan just to remind yourself on what to do there. So you can do all that in the activity. And then also in this corner here with the draft settings, you can actually import your own draft rankings, which is kind of cool. Yeah.
Ooh.
So you can do that as well. So you can just throw all that in there and then it goes right into your queue. So that's kind of nice as well. And there's the queue there, as I mentioned, on the roster page also. So it's really slick, and I think it is going to be a great improvement for everybody. Again, it might take some getting used to, but we're really proud of it, and I think it's going to be a great feature for years to come. Light and dark mode too. There's the light mode, dark mode. I kind of like the dark mode. You were mentioning that too, Howard.
Yeah, what kind of savages need to sit there with light mode, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, so that's the draft room kind of in a nutshell there. Again, if you have any questions about anything with this, if you've been on our site and you're kind of wondering how stuff works, feel free to send a message to support. It's support@rtsports.com, or we have a phone number. If you call, there's actually somebody that's going to answer it. It's not automated, and I don't think that happens a lot. So you can actually legitimately call, and you can get a person on the other line helping you. So
you know when the best time to call is? Like really like late on a Friday or like before a holiday weekend, because Mark is the only one in there. And then I always get to talk to him.
There you go. He likes that.
He's like, nobody else is here. I'm like, wow, that's why I'm calling you.
That's funny. All right. We'll go back to the draft room now and let everybody see that. A lot of picks going on. You're actually up in another pick, so I will recap the rest of the picks after you, Howard. Saquon Barkley went Right after you, then Drake London, Kenneth Walker, Jeremiah Love, Derrick Henry, Quinshawn Judkins, Brock Bowers rounds out the second round. Then to start the third, we have Devonta Smith, Kyron Williams, Trey McBride, Rashee Rice, and Chris Olave, and then Brees Hall. So a couple picks here that are a little out of the ordinary a little bit. Kenneth Walker went a little earlier than normal. Quinshawn Judkins too in the second round.
The Judkins one is interesting. And I'll tell you what, I like the pick of Kyron Williams here as well, because that's another dude. I mean, I've seen him float down to like the late third, early fourth round, which makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, I like Judkins a lot though for the coming year. I think for his price tag going in that spot, I like a lot better the third, fourth round, because I think he's going to get a ton of touches for the Browns, and that offense has to be better than it was last year. So don't mind the pick. I mean, if that's your guy and you want him, then you got to get in the second round maybe to get him. So that's what Miami Vice did. And he went 3 straight running backs. He got Christian McCaffrey, Judkins, and then Kyron Williams. So 3 straight running backs. He's the only team to do that. Actually, End Zone Club, who's picking right now, he could do it. Howard, you went Javonte Williams to pair with Genty and Nico Collins. Williams, another guy, true bell cow back in that Cowboys offense. What's your thoughts on Williams for the coming season?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much kind of everything that I said about Chase Brown, right? There's no competition for touches in the backfield. The team improved its defense so that they don't have to like sit there and go into these crazy shootouts. And, I mean, he's going to benefit significantly, from that. And I think that he's just in a really nice spot. And I feel lucky to have gotten him here. Jacobs went right before me, because I kind of feel like we're now sitting here. Now you're looking at like the last of like the real bell cow backs. You've got a couple of guys who are possibilities of they could be a bell cow back, but there's still no like locked in kind of guarantee situation there. So, I feel very lucky to have gotten him, and I'm curious now to see, what happens. Do people here, because what do we got? 18 running backs off the board, 15 wide receivers, only 2 tight ends. Nobody's taken the quarterback yet. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how the running back position starts to look. Do people start pushing the ADP up a little bit here in order to secure the position? That's
It's when it gets tough. You're right, though. I definitely think there's a drop off in this range, like starting like right now, like after Travis Etienne. I still call him that. Javonte Williams.
You gotta put some Cajun on it, man. You gotta be like Etienne.
Can't do it. I can't do it. But I do think though you do need to watch that running back drop, that running back cliff there. I think it gets scary after those guys. I think there's some guys that definitely could outperform their ADP. There's some intriguing options you could take after this group that just went, but I think it gets a little scarier. So I really like to have at least 2 running backs on my roster after 3 rounds.
Yeah, and as you can see, so do a lot of other people, right? Frank is over there. Jeff has 2. Ralph is picking, could end up grabbing a third here if he wanted to. He does not. He takes Garrett Wilson. But then, Brooks, Flamingo Brooks up in the top part there, Bijan and Derrick Henry. And then, of course, like you said, Miami Vice starting with the 3 running backs. I mean, this is where it's at. And that's been been the intriguing debate that we've had right now, is that in 2024, Jeff, when like 0 RB was like at its height,
Yep.
Because everybody was going running back heavy, and 0 RB like really took flight. Is that the way that it could go again this year? Could we get a return? Because everybody's going so heavily into the running backs that look at what Fozzie's doing over there. Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Malik Neighbors, and I'm sorry, but I'll take, even if Malik Neighbors misses a game or 2, I'll take 14, 15 weeks of Malik Neighbors, any day in the 3rd round. And then he grabs Luther Burden here. So that's the question here that you have to ask yourself. Could this be a year where zero RB, is a viable winning strategy, or or do we just assume that the running back draft is the way it's going to be, the way you're going to win?
And knowing Fozzie, like I know Fozzie, longtime player on our site, I'm guessing he has done all sorts of different builds in these drafts, and it's smart to do it that way. So he's going, zero running back with this build, has four great receivers, and I'm sure in other leagues he might have started his draft with three straight running backs, knowing Fozzie the way I do. But I think that's a smart move to kind of differentiate yourself like that. Howard's on the clock right now. Malik
So
Neighbors, though, the news of him, they're saying he's not going to be on the pup list to start camp. They're optimistic he could be ready for week 1 now. They don't think they're going to have to start him on IR. I'm intrigued to see what happens to his ADP once camp is underway and he's out there on the field. So I have a feeling you're not going to be able to get him in the third round once once we get closer to the start of the season. Just a hunch.
no, there was a point though where, like, I don't know if you saw that report from Jordan Renan from ESPN saying he didn't think that Malik Neighbors would be that breakout wide receiver one that we want him to be until at least week 5 or 6.
I did.
And
Yeah.
and immediately everybody jumped on that, saying, "Oh, he's not going to play for until week 5 or 6." And the whole report got completely blown out of proportion. And all of a sudden he started slipping in drafts. I was doing a bunch of drafts around that time, and I mean, he got pushed down to like the mid 4th. I was like, please give him to me in the mid 4th. That's gonna be ridiculous.
I've seen that as well. 4th, 5th round, just crazy that he can fall that far. So in the 4th round right now, we had Garrett Wilson go, Luther Burden, Tet McMillan, Bucky Irvin, DJ Moore, Cam Scattaboo, Josh Allen, first QB off the board. Doltz takes him. Emeka Buka goes after him. So the Doltz team has JSN, Drake London, Brees Hall, and Josh Allen. Howard, are you going to take any shares of an early QB like Josh Allen, or are you kind of waiting on the position?
I've done some drafts where I've paired up Zay Flowers with Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
I like the tandem there, and it works. The funny thing is, though, is that the trend right now, is watch to wait and see when the next QB comes off the board, because what I've been seeing in drafts lately has been Josh Allen in the 3rd, maybe 4th round, and then a good 2 rounds, possibly even 3, go by before anybody takes the next quarterback.
Yep.
Which makes you wonder, am I doing the right thing taking Josh Allen as high as I'm taking him, or should I, kind of, wait? I don't like being the first guy to take a QB. I just don't. And as much as, if Josh Allen fell to me at this point here, since I have DJ Moore, then I probably would have grabbed him.
Okay.
But,
you just took DJ Moore. We have not talked about that yet. I feel like I kind of have him ranked higher than most, but I just think he's in a good situation to rack up the targets. We've seen Allen before in the past when he's had that go-to receiver. He has targeted him pretty heavily, and I think Moore is head and shoulders above the rest in that receiver room. So I think he's going to have a nice bounce-back season. I think good things are in store for him this year. I'm guessing you're feeling the same way.
I think a lot of people forget that before Chicago, he had one of his best years, 93 catches for like 1,200 yards in Carolina with Joe Brady as his offensive coordinator. So now he's gone back to Joe Brady. Joe Brady trades for him. Think about that. Joe Brady's like, go get me DJ Moore, and you've got your alpha receiver. So I think a lot of people kind of forget about the fact that DJ Moore does not have to have any issues like learning the playbook or anything like that. So with every other wide receiver on that team just being as blah as they are, right? I mean, Khalil Shakir, snooze. Joshua Palmer, forget it. Keon Coleman, nobody likes him. So I kind of sit there and I look, and is DJ Moore capable of being that alpha receiver? I think he can be. I really do.
I agree. I'm the same way. I like what Chris here is doing in the one hole. It's always intriguing to see how people make their builds. And he had the first pick, took Jahmyr Gibbs, and he got Brock Bowers. Then he went three straight receivers in Devonta Smith, T. Higgins, and Jalen Waddle. Devonta Smith, I think, is not quite that sure of a thing, but Chris is pretty high on him. But overall, I think it's always intriguing to see how people make their builds from different draft positions. And I kind of like the idea of going out and getting the number one player at different positions. And he took his number one tight end, Brock Bowers. So kind of intrigued to see how he fills out that running back room. But decent start for him there.
Why don't you like Devontae Smith? Why aren't you
I
sold
like
on
him. I'm just not convinced he's like a go-to number one type receiver, personally.
I find that interesting. I mean, listen, I'm not like over the moon over him either. I think he's great. And I think with no AJ Brown, the fact that the guys who are on the opposite side, right? I mean, what do you do? You're dealing with like Hollywood Brown and Dontavian Wicks. Neither one of those guys impresses me at all. So where are they throwing the football? I mean, is Eli Stowers going to be a big rookie tight end? You still have Dallas Goedert there. So I don't really know what other, who else is going to start glomming targets in that offense.
My thought process more is Chris Olave, George Pickens, Zay Flowers, Malik Neighbors. That's who he kind of passed up to take Smith. So I don't know. I think I'd much rather have those guys. Like Zay Flowers, I'm really big on him the more I started digging into him this year. I think he's kind of underrated from a fantasy perspective. And I think that new offense could be good for him in Baltimore as well. And I like for him to have a big season. So I'm on the Zay Flowers bandwagon right now. I'm trying to get him in a lot of my leagues as long as the price is right.
Well, welcome, my friend. You can sit shotgun next to me. I've been driving that bandwagon for a while. I just finished my write-up, and it just went into to be published. It'll be out tomorrow. My full write-up of the Baltimore Ravens offense and defensive scheme. I did them both. Did he just take DeAndre Swift? Is he leaving me Bashaw Tootin? I'll take some Bashaw Tootin there. I've heard some very nice things about Bashaw from his coach.
Yeah.
Dan, what was the point I was just making before?
Well, you're talking about the Ravens offense.
Oh, yeah. So Declan Doyle's basically bringing over this Ben Johnson style offense. And so you kind of have to take a look at it in certain facets. Number one, Zay Flowers is going to play that slot flanker role. So he's going to be like in that Amon-Ra St. Brown role. And that's fantastic for him, right? That's
exactly what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, like that's a spectacular spot for him to be in. We'll see who takes the other side, whether it's going to be Bateman or one of the rookies there. Mark Andrews is still kind of floating around. Devontae Walker will take the deep stuff. But like what this could do for Zay Flowers, and then you know what? I'm actually becoming a little bit more bullish on Derrick Henry, who I watched slow down last year. I watched him have some difficulty, but what Declan Doyle is doing is they're going to line up in a lot of wide zone formation. And what the wide zone does is that stretches the field horizontally, stretches out the defense horizontally, which then kind of leads to wider running lanes. So with Derrick Henry, who was very successful last year on outside zone runs, they're going to do outside zone and wide zone, which will give him that opportunity. He can take it to the outside and run up the sidelines, or he'll have that ability to cut back and hit the open field. So I think that this could, like, despite age and decline possibly settling in here for Derrick Henry, I think this scheme itself might mask his slowing down a little bit because it opens things up for him so much. So him and Flowers are two guys who, Flowers I've been taking over and over again. I'm going to start taking some more Derrick Henry.
I like Andrews too, and just to round out that offense too. I've gotten a few shares of him to start the year. I think he's going to have a nice rebound season was likely gone. And again, this scheme, it's tight end friendly. It's produced some good fantasy seasons from Sam Laporta, Colston Loveland, those guys as well. So kind of intrigued to see if Andrews can rebound at this stage of his career. So round 5, we had Jalen Waddle, Carnell Tate, Devontae Adams, David Montgomery, Travion Henderson, Terry McLaurin, DeAndre Swift. You took Tootin with your pick, and then R.J. Harvey, Colston Loveland, Jadarian Price, Roma Dunze. Shout out to Miami Vice. He's throwing ADP out the window. He's taking his guys. He took Carnell Tate there in the 5th round. You don't have to. ADP is not the ranking, so you can do. If you want your guys, go get your guys. And I give credit to Miami Vice there. I think he's getting his guys, right?
I think he's getting his guys too. I mean, listen, that's what you should be doing, fantasy, right? Yeah, ADP is it's a guideline. It's not what you should be doing, and I mean, that's definitely something to pay attention to.
Yeah, people get caught up, in my opinion. They look at ADP and they're like, "Oh, this guy's falling. I gotta take him." Well, you don't have to take him if you don't want him, just because his ADP's high and you got somebody else on the board. It's just a guideline. It should just be there for your to help you figure out where guys are going, and you can plan your draft strategy that way. That's my soapbox for that. So Ralph Schiavone took Lamar Jackson start round 6, and then Fozzie took Jonathan Brooks, Christian Watson. So Fozzie Dog, 4 receivers to start his draft. Then he took Jadarian Price, Jonathan Brooks. What do you think about those 2 running backs for his first 2, Howard?
I mean, Jadarian Price is he's gonna share the role. I mean, he's got the opportunity to set himself aside, but with Emmanuel Wilson and George Alani there, I'm not even really that worried about Zach Charbonnet coming back. I'm more worried about like him not being able to get that full head of steam, ahead of time. So I kind of worry about that. And then Brooks. Listen, Brooks hasn't been on the field in 2 years. I'm still a Chuba Hubbard truther. I will, happily celebrate the world of Chuba Hubbard. I was just looking to make sure because the changes have like really, it's kind of skewed a bunch of stuff here. The way players are listed in this, it's really kind of crazy, and I'll tell you why. Because Chuba is so buried here right now, and I almost want to take him. But is that the move I need for me, or do I want to do something else? Round 6. I tell you. I'm going to take a guy who I don't normally take here, and I'm going to take Tyler Warren.
Ty Warren going tight end, round 6.
I mean, it's probably a little early. I mean, especially when, you see where Loveland falling down to round 5. He's usually like good for around 3 or 4. So it's kind of been pushed down. I've been playing a lot of tight end premium in the best ball format. So my rounds might be a little skewed here.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting him if you wait. If you try to pick him in round 7, I think he's gone.
Yeah, probably. But to the point where, and listen, this is why I always say to people, do yourself a favor. Don't be an idiot and think that like, oh, I'll just pop into the draft 5 seconds before and get in there. If you've never seen the draft room, if you've never looked at it, see, that's what I was going to take. I was going to take Brian Thomas there instead of Tyler Warren.
Yeah, I like Thomas to rebound too this year. I think he's going to have a much better year. A lot of drops last year, and I think the opportunities are there. So I'm intrigued by him to have a good bounce back season this year. And then Parker Washington goes. Normally Washington goes before Thomas.
Well, again, that's it's not so much about ADP. It's how you guys have them ranked here on the site.
Yeah,
because things have definitely changed since you made the changeover. Not in a bad way. I mean, this is going to be good and exciting, but like when you do so many drafts on the same platform and then it shuffles.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, geez.
I hear you. All right, let's look at some recent picks here. You went Tyler Warren, then Marvin Harrison Jr., Brian Thomas, Parker Washington, Jalen Warren. I'm trying to look at some of these builds. Let's see. There's one, two, three, four, five, six teams just have running backs and receivers right now. So a lot of teams kind of mixing up already. We're seeing some tight ends get sprinkled in. Lamar Jackson went as the second QB off the board in round 6. Uh, yeah, nothing too crazy here. Harold Fannin just goes now too. That's one of my guys too. I feel you were talking about the power player screen before we came on the air as well. You can kind of see who you draft and your shares and whatnot. And I got a lot of Harold Fannin. And my main thing is that offense was just putrid last year, and he was amazing. I mean, if that offense just gets a little better, and I just don't see how he's going to have a regression. Personally, I feel like people are kind of sleeping on Fannin a little bit. I think he could have another big year. You're the tight end whisperer. Maybe I'm off here, but I still don't like their receiver room, and I think Fannin's going to get a ton of targets from whoever's starting at QB there.
I mean, Monken likes utilizing the tight end. We've seen it before, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question is, though, is that you did draft two rookie wide receivers in Denzel Boston and Casey Concepcion. Not to mention the fact that the GM Andrew Berry said that Jerry Jeudy's targets are not going to be affected. Look at that. Look at that. That's a get your guy move right there again from Miami Vice.
Dak Prescott. Could that be one of our one of our Dallas fans in here? Is it?
I don't know, man. I don't
Colton
know.
is using an alias, drafting under Eddie.
But anyway, I think that it's going to be very interesting to see not only who wins that QB job, but really how are they going to utilize Concepcion? How are they going to utilize Denzel Boston? So are the targets? Andrew Berry said that the Jerry Jeudy's targets wouldn't be affected. So if that's the case, somebody's targets are going to get affected. I need to know whose.
They should be Jerry Jeudy's. He was terrible last year. I think you gotta look at those young guys. I mean, he was bad. I'm over Jerry Jeudy.
Oh, over him.
We had Rico Dowdle go to start round 7, then Dak Prescott, Cortland Sutton, Joe Burrow, Jordan Tyson, another rookie receiver, and now Doltz is up there. So a couple teams here. We got another guy, Doltz there, kind of going a little zero running back. He did take Breece Hall in round 3, just took Monangai, but he had 4 receivers of his first 6 picks and Josh Allen. Now he has Monangai as his RB2 at this point. I'm kind of intrigued by Monangai as well. I just don't know if I'd feel comfortable with him as my RB2.
I'd have a hard time with him as my RB2 as well. But I think, you know what? I mean, listen, DeAndre Swift is one of those guys who, I don't know, he always seems to wear out his welcome, doesn't he?
He does.
He always seems to. All right, so now here's the dilemma. Here's the dilemma. And it's nothing against you, Fozzie. I love you. You're a great competitor. But if I don't take Chuba here, then he could grab Chuba and kind of just lock in that backfield.
Yeah,
he really could. I mean, sure, maybe I could count on Frank or Jeff to grab him, but I don't know if I could count on them to do that. So it's not so much defensive because I actually do believe that Chuba Hubbard is the number 1 running back in that scheme. So I'm going to take him. I'm going to take him as my 4th running back. I'm not going to gift Fozzie the Carolina backfield when I know that Dave Canales loves to run one guy. He loves to run one guy. The only reason
Fozzie's in the chat, and he said it's fine.
Oh, are you okay with that, Fozzie? Okay. I appreciate that, man.
Fozzie's okay. That's good. We don't want to upset Fozzie.
Wait, Fozzie just sent me an email that just gives the middle finger.
Oh no!
What do you mean? No,
I guess it's not fine.
I love you too, Foz. You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy.
He's great. So let's see some of these other picks that have happened this round. Joe Burrow went, so he's the 4th quarterback off the board at this point. Then Jaden Daniels What's your thoughts on Jay Daniel? I think he's kind of polarizing at this point. I think some people are really high on him, some people really low on him. I think the rushing upside definitely helps his floor, but they did not help that receiver room much. I'm kind of mixed on him. I'm kind of letting other people draft him at this point. How about you?
Yeah, I haven't drafted him. It's for no other reason other than it just hasn't worked out on my board that way
Hmm.
for it, because I feel like he gets left, too late, and I've already grabbed somebody, or he goes way too early. It's one or the other. Um, I think Stephon Diggs goes there.
It makes sense. That would
It,
be a
it-
good
yeah.
fit.
The Gainwell pick, Fuzzy.
He's been listening to you, Howard. You like Gainwell and all his pass
Dude, it's
catching
such a
ability in that
great pick.
offense.
It's such a great pick. It really is. I think a lot of people are going to be very disappointed in what happens with poor Bucky Irving this year.
All right. Yeah, with Daniels though, I guess in round 7, just to put a ribbon on that topic, I don't mind. I may take a chance on him at that point because his ceiling's really high, and round 7's not too early to take him. So I may, if he's falling around 7, I'm in some drafts. I might end up getting some shares of him. We'll see.
I'll probably get a couple of shares of him a little later on there. But yeah, I mean, listen, I think that his ADP will shoot way back up once Stephon Diggs lands there. If Stephon Diggs doesn't land there, well, you can't give me enough Terry McLaurin. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I feel like he's fallen later than he probably should. I mean, a healthy Daniels this year, and he goes in the 5th round of this draft. Doltz takes him as his wide receiver 3, so he has quite the receiver room, that Doltz team, with JSN, Drake London, and McLaurin, and then Brian Thomas as well. So he's loading up on that receiver position. I like those options for him there. He's challenging Fozzie Dog there for the top receiver room.
The receiver room that's sitting here left right now is atrocious looking. I mean,
Uh-oh.
I'm glad I've got Nico and Moore kind of locked in, but I need to start hitting that receiver position here. And I'm looking at the board right now. I'm like, please,
Yeah, I see that.
please.
Look at the top options. I'll name them: Michael Wilson, Jacoby Myers, Alec Pierce, DK Metcalf, Ricky Pearsall, Jordan Addison, Jaden Reed, Rashid Shaheed. Yeah, it falls off there. That's
It
another
falls
one.
off a lot,
Yeah,
right?
I've in the drafts I've noticed that too, kind of with the running backs too. There's a point where it gets ugly in a hurry, and we've reached that point. And Ralph took Mekhi Lemon at the end of round 7, another rookie receiver, so that's 2 in that round. Then he took Kyle Pitts, Drake May. So Kyle Pitts, you think he's going to do it again? You're confident? Are you confident that he has finally put it together and he's going to have another 2 straight good seasons instead of all the heartache that he's brought throughout the years?
I think I am. I think I'm in on Kyle Pitts here this year. It's Kevin Stefanski, and he loved utilizing the tight end. Absolutely loved it. So I don't really know why we kind of wouldn't be looking at him. If you think about what Stefanski did with David Njoku, what he did with Harold Fannin last year, for crying out loud.
Sure.
You got to think, because who else is opposite Drake London? It's Jahan Dodson. It's Olamide Zacchaeus. Maybe Zachariah Branch does something. But
Yeah,
all right, I got to go receiver here.
Howard. So
And I can I tell you how much I hate these receivers?
you only have 2 at this point as well. You have Nico Collins, DJ Moore. So
I know.
see what you do here.
I'm
This
gonna
wide
I'm gonna
receiver.
take a guy who's kind of buried in the rankings right now, just because I think he's got some really nice potential, some really good upside in this system that Mike McDaniel is running now in Los Angeles. I'm gonna take a little QJ.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna take a little QJ. I think that if we look at what Mike McDaniel had done, I mean, he had it in San Francisco. He had Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, and that Debo role is the slot flanker role that's being played by Lad McConkey, which puts It puts Quentin Johnston or maybe some Trey Harris, who knows, but it puts QJ really in that Brandon Ayuk kind of a role, which I like. And I mean, they did the same thing, when you had Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle over there, So I think that, one of the things I think a lot of people forget is that Mike McDaniel had Tua leading the league in passing yards a couple of seasons ago.
Yep.
And so I think that with that aspect of it, maybe we do see some. I mean, I'm very much bullish in on Omari and Hampton, but I do think QJ is somebody that we can kind of pay attention to.
I'm really excited to see that Chargers offense this year. I'm intrigued to see what they do, and I think people kind of forget how decimated that offensive line was last year. So if they're healthy this year, they have some good tackles there, and I think that if Herbert gets time to throw, I mean, he was running for his life last year, so I think it's going to be intriguing to see what McDaniel does with that offense. I'm excited about the Chargers this year. I love Omari and Hampton. I think he's going to have a really good year, and McConkey's a guy I've been targeting as well, so we'll see if this Chargers offense can get it going this year. I think it's definitely possible.
I think it's very possible as well. Listen, you've got too many fantastic weapons here with this team, and I think, and I mean, come on, how about this offensive line for the Chargers right now? I mean, that's ridiculous with Rashawn Slater, a healthy Rashawn Slater, and a healthy Joe Alt bookending.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. I love that. I absolutely love that.
And then Herbert just goes. I guess I talked that into existence.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jeff.
How about that?
Thanks a lot. I was hoping he would come back to me.
Yeah, your Quentin Johnston Herbert combo is out the window now because I was rambling on about it. Sorry about that. So Rachaad White and Blake Corum go this round as well. Rachaad White, do you think he's going to be the guy? Is he going to be the starter in Washington, or do you think it's going to be Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt?
I feel like Crosky-Merritt's probably going to be the guy. I think that Rachaad White's a fine pass catching back. The problem is that he's not efficient. He's not an efficient runner. There is no such thing as yards after contact when it comes to Rachaad White. And I think that's something that you have to kind of pay attention to there. I think Crosky-Merritt could be the guy on the field during the RPO work. I feel like he is a guy who can take it between the tackles. So I almost feel like he's probably going to be the main aspect here, as opposed to Rachaad White, who, again, if he doesn't, if he's not running efficiently, they're just not going to give him the ball.
I agree. So what about backfields? Like, there's some like that. You have the Washington one. I mean, even Chicago to some extent, where it could be a timeshare, and Pittsburgh, Tennessee. I guess we don't quite know what's going on in New England. Are there any backfields you're just kind of avoiding right now? You just don't want any part of?
The Denver backfield.
Okay, I didn't even mention that one, but that's a good one too.
I want nothing to tell you. So it's the Denver backfield, and you know what? I'm kind of out on that Seattle backfield as well. I just feel like these are groups. I'm also, with Aaron Glenn keep talking about a three-headed monster in that backfield. I haven't touched Breece Hall since. So, it's like these backfields are all, Denver last year, they showed you, right? They showed you that anything could happen, and they're going to give everybody the ball. They're going to give everybody a shot. Tyler Bidet is still there. Jaleel McLaughlin is still there. They draft Jonah Coleman. You got J.K. Dobbins. You got R.J. Harvey. I mean, who's to know who's going to be touching the ball? I think it's going to be the same thing in Seattle there with Jadarian Price and George Halani and Emmanuel Wilson. Then we're going to throw Zach Charbonnet into the mix as well. So it becomes very, very difficult.
I feel like this training camp, compared to the past few years at least, though, there's a lot more position battles, like a lot more QB ones where I'm not certain who's going to start a QB, or some of these backfields as well. And I don't feel like that's really been the case in recent years, but I truly have no idea who's going to start in Cleveland or Atlanta. I really think those are really up in the air. And I kind of like that, though, that we have some more questions than we normally do, at least. Sometimes everything's settled, and it makes it makes it easy. But some of these unanswered questions, I think there's a few more this year than there have been in past years, at least. Maybe I'm off, but that's at least what I'm feeling right now.
Do I not have is something happening that I'm hearing stuff in my headset? Am I supposed to be turning off a sound setting here?
Uh,
Do-do-do-do. That's what I just heard.
yeah,
Do-do-do-do.
there's a sound setting. If you look in the click on the chat button, there's a little icon where it says mute chat sounds. If you hover over it, it says 13 in chat, then right next to it, there's a
In
little
chat.
thing.
Oh,
You
that's
can mute that.
there we go. There we go.
Trying to,
Trevor Lawrence off the board.
so we have a question in the chat, Howard. It says, who do you like between Alec Pierce and Chris Godwin? Who are you taking out of those two?
I'm actually going to take Chris Godwin out of those two. I like Alec Pierce. This is just going to be a very interesting season for Alec Pierce. You know, whether or not he's going to be able to, you know, sorry, I'm just going to make
No,
my.
you're up. Go ahead. You can
Yeah,
pick.
no. I'm just going to make a pick that I don't normally do, but I'm going to take a little shot here on a little Ricky Pearsall.
There you go.
So I like Chris Godwin because I like Zach Robinson coming over from Atlanta. Zach Robinson comes from that McVay tree, but he does not come from the school that McVay and Mike LaFleur were dealing with last year, where they're like, yeah, let's load up on 12 and 13 personnel formations. Let's, do something like that. I think that Zach Robinson is excited about throwing the football with Baker Mayfield, with Emeka Egbuka, with Chris Godwin being there, and I think we're going to see a lot of Godwin moving in and out of the slot. With Alec Pierce, this is a new role for him because they're turning him basically when they got rid of Michael Pittman, they're using him now as that X receiver. He's going to see tougher coverage, right? He's going to be playing. He's going to be trying to play that big split end role. He's a great deep threat. We know that for a fact, but can he really fend off the top coverage when he's trying to head downfield? I think that's going to be something that we're really going to need to pay attention to, moving forward, because I have concern. I mean, that's why I like Tyler Warren. I grabbed him here. I do like Josh Downs as a good solid chain mover for that. So Alec Pierce is going to be very interesting to see. So give me Godwin here.
I'm the same way. I like Godwin a lot. I feel like he's a little undervalued right now. I like Ibuka also, but Baker Mayfield was banged up the second half of the season. I think that really impacted the entire passing game. So I think this passing game is going to be better from day one this year. And I like Godwin maybe to lead them in targets. He's been kind of a target hog in recent years when he's been healthy. So with Evans gone, I think Godwin's going to have a good season. So I like Godwin as well. I do think Pierce is a really good option in best ball formats because, it sets your lineup automatically. So that's a guy I like to target there. But in your season long where you're starting every week and you don't know when Pierce is going to have that huge game, make that huge play, I'm going to take Godwin. So I get the Pierce, thinking about drafting him, but I just think he's going to be a little more boomer bust, even in a different role this year. All right, let's look at some of these picks you just mentioned, Trevor Lawrence. So actually, Caleb Williams went at the end of round 8. We're seeing more receivers go off the board. Then J.K. Dobbins, Patrick Mahomes, Michael Pittman, Jordan Mason, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Addison, Sam Laporta, Ricky Pearsall, Jacoby Myers, Michael Wilson, George Kittle, and Jaden Reed. So Miami Vice, again, he took Patrick Mahomes with the second pick in round 9, and he took Prescott with the third QB off the board in round 7. So kind of interesting, really going QB heavy there. I don't know if I'm going to use that much draft capital on a QB if I take the third one off the board. So not sure about that strategy, Howard.
Which move? Oh, the Dak Prescott into Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not all that bullish on it either. I'm trying to just let's see. Who do I want to?
Your picks up. I'm sorry.
No. Don't be sorry, Jeff. Be sorry for the fact that this wide receiver depth is just absolute garbage right now.
You have 4 receivers right now: Nico Collins, DJ Moore, Quentin Johnston, and then you took Ricky Pearsall in the last round. Alvin Kamara just went the pick before you. I'm guessing that wasn't one of your targets. I'm thinking maybe Josh Downs was, and the Vegas Sandos team took him a couple picks before you also. So,
Yeah, no, it really wasn't him either.
oh, it wasn't him either. Okay.
No, because I didn't want to. I don't need to. You don't need to double up on the targets.
Oh,
Oh
that's true.
shoot!
You
Look at
got another
this.
one.
My time's running out here.
Uh-oh. We're going to need the commissioner to step in.
My
Jalen Nailor.
time's running out here. All right, I'll just take Jalen Nailor.
I mean, don't mind that at all. I've been taking some shares of him. Most likely number one receiver in Vegas. I know Brock Bowers is going to lead that team in targets, but someone's got to catch passes, and it looks like Naylor could be that guy. So why not take a chance on him in round 10? I'm guessing that's your thinking as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that in that mode there. They paid him. They've said specifically, like with all the Stephon Diggs talk and all the Brandon Ayuk talk. Well, before Brandon Ayuk went crazy, they kept talking about how happy they were with their wide receiver room and that they weren't interested in Diggs and they weren't interested in Ayuk, and they were comfortable with the guys they had, which tells me, okay, you got Trey Tucker, you brought in Jalen Nailor, and then you got maybe Jack Besh becomes that number 3 receiver that they were hoping for. So I think it should be very interesting to kind of tackle for Naylor. I think this is a guy who, if you wanna make your new quarterback better, then you give him a security blanket, right? You give him a good strong slot receiver who's got good hands, and make it happen there. I think we also forget that for 2 seasons, Kirk Cousins and Jalen Nailor played together.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
I had thought originally that Stephon Diggs might be looking at Las Vegas simply because, he had 2 years with Cousins in Minnesota. But you know what? So did Jalen Nailor, and they opted for Nailor. So that kind of tells me that there's some familiarity there. It's probably going to help out in the long run. So I feel good about it.
How long do you think Kirk Cousins starts? I at first I was like, oh, they're just talking and he's not really going to start. But I think he's going to legit start to open the year. Do you think he goes 8 weeks, or how do you think that plays out?
I think so. From everything that I've heard and read and seen interviews with Kirk Cousins, he's always been one of those guys who says, I'm not here to train I'm here to win football games. I'm not here to train my replacement. And, Rodgers was like that. Favre was like that. Joe Flacco is like that. He's more interested in winning football games than he is teaching the next guy how to replace him. I think with that mentality, I think that him and Tom Brady had like a sit down. And I think Brady said to him flat out, listen, if we're winning games, if we're competitive, if things are looking good, then I have no problem having this kid sit on the bench all season long and just learn it. And Brady was a guy who sat there and hung out on the bench too.
Yep.
So, and I mean, had Drew Bledsoe not gotten hurt, we never would have seen Tom Brady, in all of his glory when we did. So I think, Brady believes that QB should sit and just kind of watch the way it goes. And I think that that's something. So I think he basically told Cousins, you play well, you're going to keep starting. Don't look over your shoulder, right?
Yep.
Give you some latitude here. But if things don't start turning around, you got to figure maybe, I don't know, week 8, 9, 10, something like that. I don't know where's their bye week?
Yeah.
Their bye week is week 13. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's like, I'll give you till, finish week 12. If we're in a playoff spot, come after week 13, you're going to continue to start for us. And if not, if we're out of it, then we're going to turn it over to Mendoza.
So speaking of QBs, Howard, you realize right now you're the only team without a QB.
I am the only team without a QB.
And there's 2 of them. 2 teams have 2 QBs. So
I know. And I tell you what, man, they keep stealing my guys. I was going to get Trevor Lawrence, stole my guy. I was going to get Matthew Stafford, stole my guy. Justin Herbert, stole my guy.
So I guess you're gonna take Kirk Cousins to pair with Jalen Naylor. That's gonna be your next pick. So
I mean, why wouldn't I,
you
man?
better pull the
That's
trigger before it's too
it's
late.
really the only move that makes sense if you ask me.
Yeah, exactly. Another a lot of tight ends flying off the board now. So that Win 17 team went two tight ends, Mark Andrews, Dalton Kincaid with back-to-back picks. So if you wait on a tight end, I don't mind that strategy at all, going back-to-back if you're not totally confident with them. So not too bad. Kincaid's a big play threat there. Can't stay on the field a whole lot, but definitely has potential. So Win 17 has two tight ends to go. I think, there's several teams with two tight ends actually. Dallas.
Yeah, and I'll probably take a second tight end at some point. I mean, you've got two flex spots, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
if you can find somebody who gets the targets, then why the heck not? I've got an intriguing theory, Jeff, that I'll
Okay.
share with you, but it all depends on who I get with my next pick.
Okay. I mean, some of these second tight ends at this point have a better chance to produce better seasons than these receivers that are going. So it's not, like you said, you can start two flexes, so it's not the worst strategy in the world to take a second tight end. Lane Meyer, that was his first.
Ah, he just took him right in front of me.
Brock Purdy. Oh no,
Oh man.
sniped.
What was that about? Oh, you just ruined my whole War 9. You just ruined my whole dissertation here. I was all set to really,
It's
ball
14,
sniffers.
14 QBs off the board. Crazy. I mean, that's earlier than normal, seeing all these QBs flying off the board.
Oh, so here was my theory. You know how when we talked to Joe Jacoby
Mm-hmm.
and he talked about the last game of the season, that Monday night football game, and getting shares of it.
Yeah.
Well, that last Monday night game is Green Bay and Houston, and it's in
Okay.
Green Bay, and it's on January 4th. You know that weather could be super crappy, right?
Yep.
So maybe Josh Jacobs is an intriguing aspect of it. Maybe, if David Montgomery is healthy and that's, an aspect of it. Jaden Reed is definitely a possibility. But what if, Jeff? What if it's not about the last Monday night game, but it's actually about the last Sunday night game,
Okay.
which happens to be Philadelphia in San Francisco? Eagles, Niners, Sunday night. I know the weather's going to be fine over there. Maybe at worst, it's going to rain a little bit, but all of a sudden now I'm thinking maybe if that's the game that kind of puts people over in the leaderboard in the tournaments. What do you think?
That's some firepower in that game. I mean, you got some guys that can put up some points. Christian McCaffrey, Saquon, Jalen Hurts. You're right. That could be the championship deciding game. That's an intriguing thought for sure. Baker Mayfield too. I like that pick. Do people forget last year? I mean, he was top 5 for the first half of the season, and then he got banged up. I don't know if you watched that quarterback special at all on Netflix, but he showed his arm and it was like a mess. Like he had a bruise all over it and he was struggling to throw the ball. He just kind of gutted it out. So I feel like he's kind of undervalued at this point. That was a guy that would go a lot earlier in drafts last year.
I hope so. I hope so. And and the good thing is that, excuse me again, we talked about what Liam Cohen did with Baker Mayfield, right? And they dated back to their time with the Rams. Well, guess what? Zach Robinson was with the Rams as the passing game coordinator right around that time as well.
There you go.
So Zach Robinson very much knows Baker Mayfield's strengths and weaknesses here. And again, I really like Zach Robinson as a pass friendly type of coach. So yeah, I'll take the volume here on Baker Mayfield, but I wanted Brock Purdy.
Uh-oh.
Boo.
I will say though, I know he sniped them from you, but I kind of like the Jackson Dart Brock Purdy pairing because Jackson Dart's got some injury questions, and I think Purdy's kind of the safer QB of the two, so I kind of like that pairing going back to back there. I think that was a solid strategy by Warren in there, even though he sniped you.
It's the classic
Yin and yang.
yin yang draft strategy that we talk about all the time, right? You take one guy who could be like crazy high ceiling. Yeah, sure, there's super risk involved there with Jackson Dart, and then you got your steady Eddie in Brock Purdy. And I think that, I mean, it's definitely it's a great pairing. What you're hoping for is that Jackson Dart runs for 100 yards every game and throws for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns, right? Like that's what you're hoping to see that from him. But if you're not seeing that from him, well, then you've got a great guy like Brock Purdy to kind of throw in there and say, he's just a good, solid, high floor candidate.
So Brandon Aubrey, first kicker off the board. He's like that in every draft. Our friend Fozzie takes him in round 11. You taking a kicker ever that early? Do you ever go early with Aubrey, getting that number one guy?
No, but we've kind of had this discussion before, not you and I specifically, but just in general. Are there, I'd have to look at the rules. What are the scoring rules for a kicker in the Fantasy Life Championship? Is it just 3 points for a field goal, or are there bonus points for longer field goals?
I don't want to. I believe there's bonus points for longer field goals. I'm looking right now. I don't want to say it and be wrong, but I believe there are. Yeah, there's bonus points for longer field goals.
So,
you know what? Scored 199 points last year in our format.
Brandon Aubrey scored 199 points last year?
Yep.
That's a lot of points for a kicker.
It is a lot of points. I heard you guys were giving it to Glenn Colton a little bit for his FSGA draft when he took Aubrey in round 10.
No, it wasn't even so much that he took Aubrey in round 10. It was because he also took Tyreek Hill and he took Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Dude, that draft for them, that was like the weirdest draft for Rick and Glenn. Did you see what Howard Kamen and Steve Gardner put together?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Holy cow! I wouldn't wipe my butt with that team. Oh my Lord!
They both said when I was on the air with those guys Monday night, they said they were giving it to both. You guys were giving it to both their teams pretty good.
I was. They did not want me to like. I almost called up when I found out that Gardner was co-hosting with Glenn. I was like, I might call up here and just yell at these guys for these drafts. These were terrible. Terrible. But you know what? Like, listen, that's the beauty of it. We do so many of these drafts. We're bound to have a bad one. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I agree. What I found with Glenn, though, and his teams, what he does a masterful job of, his in-season management is really strong if he doesn't have a great draft. That's one of his best attributes, in my opinion. Maybe not his drafts all the time, but I feel like he does a great job in season. I'm buttering him up, and he's not even here, but I think that's a strength of Glenn's teams, though. He does a good job with that.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
So you took Kyler Murray as your second QB. You took him over Bo Nix and Jared Goff. So tell me your thinking there.
Well, I'm not going to take Jared Goff because I've already got one flat-footed QB in Baker Mayfield. All right, Baker's not known for his rushing upside. Neither is Jared Goff. Kyler Murray is. And let's face it, it probably is not going to be a too daunting a task to outplay J.J. McCarthy.
No.
If Kyler Murray is really into this, right? Like if he's like, I need the change of scenery, I need the different culture, the winning culture to really get me in on it, you can't forget the fact that this dude is sitting here with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and Juwan Jennings, 3 absolutely fantastic wide receivers for him. You've got possession receivers, you've got depth receivers. Hawkinson is a good security blanket at tight end. I don't love their backfield, but it's supportive. With Jordan Mason, it's supportive enough that I think that we are in a really nice spot here for Kyler Murray to succeed. And that's my high risk. We'll see what happens kind of a thing. But in the meantime, I've always got Baker Mayfield just kind of hanging out in case.
Yeah, you notice how I did not mention the quarterback situation in Minnesota when I said battles. I don't think that's going to be a battle either. J.J. McCarthy, he's not impressive. You're right. If Kyler Murray's into it, and I think he could have a really good season as well. He's a definitely guy with a high ceiling pick to take as a QB2. I like taking him as a QB2 for sure.
Yeah.
Chigakonkwu goes there at round 13. Then Denzel Boston, Jawan Johnson, Brian Robinson, Tyler Algier, Tank Bigsby. Jawan Johnson, you're the tight end whisperer, so I like to get your thoughts on the tight ends. Again, another guy I kind of feel like I'm higher on than most, but I just think he's a dependable option at this stage of the game, and I think that offense with Shuck is going to be good again this year. I know they added some receiver help for him, so maybe Johnson gets a few less targets, but I don't know. When it comes to tight ends, I just feel like Johnson's going to be a pretty dependable guy, and you can get him fairly late.
Yeah, super late. And that's great too, right? I mean, he is fairly reliable. I think the big concern is, does Jordan Tyson step up to the point where he's stealing too many targets from Johnson? But Johnson's never been like your second most targeted pass catcher in New Orleans, right? You've always had Olave there, or you've had somebody else. You had Shaheed there for a little while. So, Jawan Johnson has never been featured in that capacity. So yeah, I think people just kind of, they just kind of, they're like, okay, we like him, he's fine, but we don't love him. Look at the Jalen McMillan. I feel like whoever wore 9 is, they're specifically making picks just to come at me. I'm serious. You look at some of these guys that were taken right in front of me. And I'm telling you, I talked about Amon-Ra St. Brown today on the Fantasy Alarm Show. I was like, oh, I'm picking 8th. That's definitely Amon-Ra's territory. Gone.
For sure.
Chris Godwin, gone. He's usually a guy I like. Samuel Laporta, gone. Brock Purdy, gone. Now he takes Jalen McMillan, so I can't pair up even McMillan with Baker Mayfield? What are you doing to me?
McMillan's another intriguing guy to me a little bit this year. You could really rack up the targets out of the slot for them if he's playing out of there a lot. So I think he could have a good year. He kind of gets overlooked at times, but he was really playing well as a rookie before he got. I mean, he was banged up last year, which is why he, I think, kind of is falling down draft boards. And I guess Ted Hurst, is that his name, who's there as well? I know he's getting a little steam as well, but I think McMillan's going to have a good role in that offense.
I think he will. I feel like he's more of like an injury away from really dominating, but he'll be the third guy on the field. I don't think Cade Otton is really the guy that we're looking at or hoping for. On this team. But I think, McMillan will probably, he'll definitely get some work as the third guy. I wish that he could have a bigger role. I mean, who knows? Actually, you know what? Zach Robinson uses a ton of 11 personnel. So maybe he does see a super high snap count. Maybe he does see like a 65% snap count. If that's the case, I'd be interested, because you've got to figure, if he's on that, got that kind of a snap count, maybe Chris Godwin, working like 85 to 90%, and then you've got Ibuka 90 to 95% snap count. I feel like that could be the distribution that we see.
You mentioned Cade Otton too, and that's one guy that I wish they got a good tight end there in Tampa Bay, because he dominates work. He gets so much work and he doesn't do anything with it. He's out on the field. He was out on the field as much as any tight end in football last year, and his numbers did not back that up at all. So I kind of wish they got somebody in there a little more talented than Otton. And I'm kind of intrigued to see what would happen if they had a Kyle Pitts in there, or Dallas Goedert, somebody along those lines, because Otton just has not done much.
No, I mean, he's just he's a little bit better than a plotter, right? He's like, he can catch the occasional pass. He's a good blocker. But there's nothing super special about him that like has you freaking out over him.
So what about these guys you were given Glenn and Rick and those guys a hard time for taking Tyreek Hill and Brandon Ayuk, but we see Stephon Diggs goes in round 12 here, and then Debo Samuel in 13. Like these guys who aren't on a team yet, what's your thoughts on taking them come draft day? Are you taking any chances on them, or are you just steering clear at this point?
I've been taking a bunch of Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
I like Diggs. I think he's in a really good spot. Where he's got places where he can, kind of keep an eye on. And you're also going to know. I mean, somebody's going to tear their hamstring in training camp, and all of a sudden that's going to just kind of open it up a little bit more. So I think Diggs stands a good chance of getting signed. Maybe Debo. Debo looks like he's in good shape finally because, the last 2 years he looked like somebody who ate Debo Samuel.
That he did.
So I think it's possible that he lands something. I don't think Ayuk's going anywhere. I don't think Tyreek's going anywhere.
Those reports Tyreek was saying his knees he still can't push off, or it was something along those lines. I'm like, that's scary because speed's his whole game.
Right.
So, Howard, you're up right now. In this round, we had 4 receivers go before you, 4 running backs go before your pick here. Kamani Vidal, Mike Washington, Jadon Blue, Justice Hill, and you took Jawan Jennings to pair with your Kyler Murray pick there. So you think what's your thoughts on Jennings? I mean, it's not a great landing spot with Jordan Addison already there. I would have liked to have seen him, maybe try to play that wide receiver number 2 role, but what do you think Jennings in Minnesota?
I think the Commanders would have been a better landing spot for him also. I like Jennings. Kevin O'Connell plays plenty of 11 personnel. He runs plenty of 3 receiver sets. So I think Jennings will get some work there. Jordan Addison has gotten banged up in recent years. I got to tell you, man, I interviewed Jordan Addison. I spoke to that guy. That dude, I'm sorry, he thought Wonderlick was a popsicle. It was ridiculous, man. Like, I was just like, wow. So, I think that Jawan Jennings is a intelligent enough receiver who can play the outside and he can play the slot. So I do think that there's a possibility that that maybe he does a little bit more. We'll have to see what happens with thick as a brick Jordan Addison.
I have not heard him. I'm gonna have to go try to find some interviews with him now to see what he sounds like. So that's funny.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't like to talk.
Oh, gotcha.
He doesn't like to talk, and he's not, and like you can't even ask him. I mean, we tried asking him questions about playing ball, and he was just shooting the cliches out one after another. I was like, dude, come on, man, like give us something in this interview. So then the guy I was interviewing him with turned around and was just like, something for the kids out there. What's something that you're listening to that you get hyped up for, before the game starts? What song pumps you up? What would be your entrance music? And he's like, I don't know. We were like, what? Just a song, your favorite song that you like to listen to get to work out? I don't know. Really, dude? Name a song. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. It was probably the most painful interview of my career.
Oh boy, that's rough. That's rough.
It's terrible.
So we have Lane Meyer team took a 3rd QB. But you have any thoughts on taking a 3rd QB in a format like this? It's a pretty deep bench, and you waited on QB a little bit. Would you consider at all taking 3, or is that just off the table?
I don't feel the need to take 3 here. I think that I'm perfectly fine with the 2 guys. I think when you're sitting here and you're looking like this late in the draft, knowing that 2 of your picks are going to go to defense and kicker, we got 4 picks left basically where we're trying to build our depth. So I'm going to stick probably to wide receiver and tight end here. I'd love to go running back, but I mean, what kind of dog crap?
Yeah, there's not much out there.
Is sitting there. I mean, there's a couple of names that you might want to, pay attention to a little bit. If you got Breece Hall, maybe you take Braylon Allen, right? But I mean, am I going to gum up my my bench here with James Conner or, unsigned Nick Chubb.
Yeah, it's not good. That running back room is not good right now. What about a lot of people taking dart throws on some rookies here later in the draft. Fozzie took Emmett Johnson, Mike Washington. I really wish Mike Washington landed in a different spot. You took you took Genty. Did you think about getting Washington at all to handcuff him?
I did, Jeff. I did. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up.
You think Fozzie took him to spite you? That's the next question.
I think, you know what? If there were
Probably did.
trading allowed in this league, we might have seen like a Chuba Hubbard for Mike Washington kind of deal go down.
There you go. Oh, seen some dart throw running backs there at the end. Caleb Johnson, George Halani as well. Caleb Johnson, that guy, that sounds like he's fighting for a roster spot. That's crazy to me. They use a second round pick on him? He was a pretty high draft pick just last year. Right?
Caleb?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's just kind of fallen out of it.
just that quickly.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah,
How quickly it happens.
it does.
Dude, this is brutal now. Why am I sitting here looking for these names? Like, that's the thing. Like, there's like a name or two at the running back spot, but I don't even know if I want to take these guys right now.
Yeah,
Oh, I've got a guy. Here's a fella I might want to take a look at.
here's a guy. 20 rounds, so it's pretty deep. You got pretty deep benches on this. It's tough, navigating that waiver wire once the season starts. So these late round picks are kind of intriguing a little bit.
They're important, man.
Yeah, you can't just forget about them. Tank Dell, that's a guy I'm interested to see what he looks like in training camp. I know we talk about guys being in different shape and best shape of their life. You're going to hear that, but I'm more interested in the guys returning from injury and what they look like. And Tank Dell's one guy that he was exciting, big time, big play threat. So kind of wanting to see what he looks like.
He looks short.
He is short. Flamingo took your Malik Washington. Did you say you had a lot of shares of him? So he went this round. Your pick's up now.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy. I got to stop talking here. Here you go. I'm going to take Katron Allen because as we've kind of gone through, right, there's Rashad White, there's Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt.
I like that.
Who's to say Katron Allen doesn't kind of step into the limelight here?
Oh yeah, you took Aronde Gatson. I wanted to ask you about the Chargers tight end situation. So what do you think? How do you think that? Obviously, it seems like you think Gatson's going to emerge as the guy, but they got Njoku, and then the other guy was getting talked up as well.
Charlie Kohler?
Yeah, I don't know why, but they were talking him up as a pass catcher, and he's clearly a blocking back. But you heard some talk. At least the coaches were saying they wanted to use him more as a receiver, but I don't know if I'm buying that. Regardless,
I saw those comments there also, and
yeah,
no, I mean Charlie Kohler is definitely he's a great blocking tight end. I mean, could he be released to catch a couple passes? Sure, absolutely. We see Drew Sample do stuff like that all the time, don't we?
yeah.
So I mean, listen, I don't mind that. So I think it comes down to, and from everything that I've read so far, it looks like it's Gadsden as the premier pass catching tight end with Njoku backing him up, and Charlie Kohler probably see more snaps than the rest of them anyway.
So intriguing to me though as well with the Kohler signing, like you said, he is a tremendous blocking tight end. So that's just another plus for that offensive line and the running game too. So I think that's kind of an under the radar signing also to help beef up that offensive line in Los Angeles. Another reason to get excited about him. So George, we're seeing tight ends flying off the board. 3 of the last 4 picks: Hunter Henry, TJ Hawkinson, Greg Dulcich.
Oh, he just took Dulcich. Come on, Ralph.
Ralph Schiavon, longtime user of the site. Great guy. Enjoy. I've had him.
That's a solid pick. Is that just his second tight end?
Yes, he has Kyle Pitts as
He's
his.
got Kyle Pitts and yeah, Greg Dulcich, good high upside. He's going to see targets. I mean, who else is going to listen? Malik Willis might not be good at throwing the football, but he's going to have to throw it. And he's got Malik Washington and he's got Greg Dulcich, and then he's got then he's got 50 feet of crap, and then he's got Jalen Tolbert and Tutu Atwell.
I was
So
intrigued. I was intrigued by Malik Willis. I wish he would have landed in a better spot. I know he's not a great thrower of the football, but he showed some promise at least the last couple years, and with his rushing upside, I just kind of wish he would have landed in a better spot. Maybe they'll surround him with better talent next year, but for this year, I'm kind of worried about him. Hopefully, it doesn't scar him for the rest of his career.
it will.
It's Miami.
It's Miami. Oh my goodness. All right. Now I'm seeing what's going on. Oh, the Denver Broncos defense off the board. The Travis Hunter pick. We saw that coming.
Yeah, I don't mind that at this stage. I know he's going to play more cornerback. At least that's what the word is. But I bet you get some chances to stretch the field at times. Trey Harris before that too. That's an interesting pick. Cam Little, you go with the kicker. Let's see.
If we're talking about bonus points for longer field goals, Cam Little's got a leg.
That he does.
And they like using it. So why not? I'm sitting here. I got to take a kicker and a defense and then 3 more position players. So, the position players that are out there are pretty roughshod. So,
yep.
Why not just make the move and get a guy who could give me, imagine getting 15 points out of your kicker more than like 3 times in a season.
Be nice. That's just an added bonus. I can't remember. I looked it up because Glenn was trying to defend his Brandon Aubrey pick, but if you look at the scoring, I think he ended up being like, if you look overall, it was like 70 something. So it made, it kind of makes his point of taking Aubrey in the 10th round. So you can kind of, that's what, let's see, Brandon Aubrey. He was 73rd overall.
Glenn is always, he'll find a way to defend a move like that because deep down we all know what it's all about.
Well, we know, yeah, we know.
Deep down we know it's just all about him being a homer.
He is he is not afraid to say he's a homer too, though. I give him credit for that.
Yeah, I guess we could give him credit for it, or we could be like, man, what a loony.
We could. All right, look at some of these picks here. Braylon Allen went. You were talking about him. Ray Davis too. That's again decent dart throw if something happens to James Cook. Trey Tucker, don't mind that at this stage of the game. Some tight ends flying off the board. Kenyon Sadiq, what do you think about him? Terrible passing game situation, but I think he could have some big games. You think he's going to do anything his rookie year?
I think he's got potential to. It depends on whether or not Adonai Mitchell gets enough work in there. I think it's going to be something that we're going to have to, really sit down and watch where the targets go. Because, listen, I am not a Geno Smith fan at all. And worry that maybe there is a QB switch as well, which could be kind of interesting to deal with and to take a look at. Because if there's a QB switch, I don't know about this Cade Klubnik fella, but I'd be concerned.
Yeah, they were talking him up a little bit already, which is it makes your ears perk up a little bit when you're hearing talk already, and training camp hasn't even started yet. I'm trying to look at some of these team builds and see what I like here. Besides your great build, Howard, I'm trying to find some other teams.
Wait a minute. How many? There have been 5 defenses taken off the board. Oh, there's the Rams defense. Lane Meyer. Beth, you were standing next to Oscar Meyer. Is he your main wiener man?
I've been going to this school for 7 years. I'm no dummy.
I'm no dummy. Go down that hill really fast.
That's an
If something gets in your way,
underrated movie. I
turn.
really like that movie.
You can't find that movie anywhere right now.
There was one of the movies channels was replaying it. It's not now, but it was a few months ago. So I got my fill in for like a month and
Oh,
then it went off. And another great one that I was watching before I came to do this stream with you was Tropic Thunder. That's one where you watch that and you're like, that cannot be made today ever.
no way could you
That
do
movie
that.
is-
I mean, that was super controversial when it happened.
yeah. That's a great movie though. Absolutely
Oh,
hilarious.
oh my God. Oh, those old school John Cusack movies were the best.
Yeah.
One Crazy Summer, Better Off Dead. Oh my Lord. Jeez. The Sure Thing. Do you remember The Sure Thing?
I don't know if I saw that one.
It's him and Daphne Zuniga, and they're driving across country because she's going to visit her boyfriend at UCLA. They go to school in New England somewhere, and she's going to see her boyfriend at UCLA, and he's going to see his buddy Anthony Edwards at UCLA for like
Wow.
a huge party and a hookup.
I have not. I'll have to watch that.
They get into the car, and it's Tim Robbins and some other lady, and it is, dude. That is a classic movie. Oh,
I'll have to watch that. You took Stribling right now. I like that dart throw. He's getting some buzz too, and you have Ricky Pearsall too. So, guy kind of oft injured at points of his career. So,
yeah, it's going to be one of those two guys. Going to be opposite Evans, right? Somebody's going to get targets.
Yeah, for sure. You looking at any of these teams? Anybody stand out to you? I think Doltz has done well with his build. I think he's put together a good roster there. I worry about his RB2, but I think he has a really good receiver core, and then Josh Allen, and then he took a bunch of tight ends that I think he could mix and match throughout the season and get done with that. And the number one pick too, Krish, who's always in these drafts with you, he's done a really good job as well, in my opinion. He needs to find that RB2 just like the Doltz team I was talking about. But man, good receiver core and
I like what Flamingo's done.
Okay.
Bijan and Derrick Henry is a great 1-2 punch.
Oh, yeah.
McBride is great. Evans and Devontae Adams as your top two wide receivers. You got good, solid depth in Ramondre and Cortland Sutton, who can both be your flex. And then you get Justin Herbert here, and then kind of, moving through, you just got some good depth. He's got, the Pittman pick, I think, is a good, solid pick. I don't love the Kayshon Boutte pick. This dude hasn't shown up for anything. He's pissed off. He's could get traded out, or I think they want to trade him out. I love the Malik Washington pick here. He's got two solid QBs in Herbert and Nix. I like this team. I like Flamingo's team.
Yeah, I do too. Good build. The Vegas Sandos team, I like what he's done too. Two good backs to start his team, and then two solid receivers. I was talking up Zay Flowers earlier. I like Tet McMillan too. I think he's going to have another good year. And then Colston Loveland. I don't know if I love taking tight ends that close together, but again, two flex format in this one, so you can get away with it. And then Jalen Hurts too. I know Hurts isn't the most exciting fantasy option in the world, but he's dependable because of that dang tush push. I mean, he's going to get those rushing touchdowns. So I still think he's going to be a really good fantasy quarterback, and maybe that new offense will be good for him as well, and he takes a few more chances than he has in past years. So I think Hurts could rebound. So that Vegas team, I'm intrigued by that as well.
Yeah, that's not a bad group there. It's not a bad group. I mean, I wouldn't take Kraft after Loveland like that.
I wouldn't do that either. That's the one thing that stood out to me.
I probably wouldn't make that move. Let's look at Fozzie's team. Let's make fun of Fozzie for a little bit. I mean, let's
good.
Good solid wide receivers right from the top there. I don't love his RB1. But I do love his RB2 and Kenneth Gainwell. I think that's a great pick.
Yeah, I think he's done well with a bunch of possible RB2s, but I worry about the fact he doesn't really have a legit RB1. He might need somebody to step up there. I mean, good possibilities at QE and tight end, though. I mean, Kittle, if he's healthy like they're saying he is, that's definitely a guy that could challenge to finish tight end number one overall. And Brandon Aubrey, number one kicker. So he's got a good foundation there. He just needs he needs some running backs to step up. That's the big question for our friend Fozzie there. Ralph Shivon there at the end too. I think he's had a good roster build. He always does a good job, but he's got a good core to his team. Lamar Jackson, and Omarion Hampton, and Travis Etienne, CeeDee Lamb, and Garrett Wilson, Odunze. I like Odunze to rebound this year. I'm big on Burden too, but I think Odunze could have a big season this year. So,
did you hear him talking about his foot when he was like, "I don't think my foot's ever going to be the same"?
I did hear that. Yeah,
That makes me a little nervous. I don't like when a player says something like that.
that is a little worrisome. I agree.
Right? Wasn't there some dude who had bones removed from his foot because he broke his foot and it wasn't healing right, and it was causing him more aggravation than anything else, so he had a bone removed?
Oof.
Ugh.
You took a defense, Howard. You took Baltimore with your round 18 pick, so you got your kicker and your defense. Baltimore's defense. What's your feelings on them?
I've just been reading a lot about what Jesse Minter is looking to do with the Ravens scheme, and I like a lot of what I see. I mean, Jesse Minter's we knew that he was a great defensive coordinator, really good, solid defensive scheme that he puts together. And and I think that it's kind of funny. I think people are kind of overlooking the Ravens for that aspect. What I also love is I love the week 13 bye.
Oh yeah.
I mean, sure, could I play some if I need to play some sort of defensive roulette? Sure. Or I could just say, you know what, these guys are solid. I feel good about it here. Let me just lock them in there and not have to worry about, even a waiver claim until week 13.
Yeah, Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant. Troy Franklin just went, but I'd have liked those guys a lot more if Jalen Waddle wouldn't have signed there this year. They were kind of intriguing to me, but now that Waddle's there, it kind of scares me a little bit, either of those guys. But at this point of the draft, I totally get it, but I'd feel a lot better about them if Jalen Waddle was not traded there.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
Keenan Allen, another guy not signed, was drafted there in round 17 by Win 17. And then he took Rashad Bateman. Ryan Thorne.
The Bateman pick I like a lot, actually.
Yeah.
In a conversation with Jim Bowden about Jacoby Lane, the rookie, one of the so Baltimore took, they drafted Jacoby Lane and they drafted Elijah Surratt, two guys who really are capable of playing like that big split end role that Rashad Bateman's going to play, right? If Zay Flowers is the slot flanker, if Devontae Walker is like your Z receiver, your deep threat, you still need somebody to, be opposite, especially in two receiver sets. You're not going to launch Devontae Walker all the way downfield, all the time when you're in a two receiver set. So could Jacoby Lane, and, Jim Bowden was very bullish on Lane, part and parcel also because he's from USC and Jim's son is running USC now.
Oh.
So I think there's like a little bit of a bias in there, but it just kind of, gives you, you look and you say, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Rashad Bateman doesn't win this job, and maybe it does go to Jacoby Lane. So I think, that spot, I'm not going to say it's like a position battle or super up for grabs, but could be intriguing.
Could be. I'm talked about already. I'm really intrigued by that Baltimore Ravens team in general, though. You just talked about their defense. Minter's a great defensive coach, but I think the offense could be outstanding as well. So maybe a change of coaching staff maybe was needed just to refresh that team a little bit. So anxious to see what they do this year. So Howard, you got two picks left. You gonna just try to look to get some more depth at like receiver and running back, or I'm guessing you're not going to take a second kicker or defense. You're just going to try to take some dart throws here late in the draft. Is that your thinking here?
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's just kind of fun, looking for guys who, could have a path. Maybe they're an injury or two away from, doing something. That's the peril of drafting before training camp is officially open
Yep.
for every team. I've been drafted a lot earlier here. The landscape of things is going to dramatically change I'd say over the next 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to be
Yes.
very funny to see what happens with that.
I mean, some of these guys getting picked late and might not even have a roster spot. Uh, when the
Exactly.
season comes around. Terrence Ferguson, that's a guy. I just wish those other tight ends weren't there. I feel like he could be a big time fantasy type player, but all those other guys there are just vulturing each other's playing time up. But I like that chance this late in the draft. That was actually his third tight end. Lane Meyer took Terrence Ferguson there. You took Ted Hurst too. I talked about him briefly, but
Yeah, I mean, again, kid out of where you go, Georgia State really, really looked good. Finishing up in school, and again, just an injury away. If something happens to Ibuka, who got or something happens to Godwin, who is older, if something happens to Jalen McMillan, who Jalen McMillan had that horrible neck injury,
yeah.
so it is very possible that that this is what turns out.
Howard, this has been a lot of fun though. I've really
Thanks,
enjoyed
Jeff.
doing another one of these drafts. It's good to see get into your mind here to see what you're thinking with your picks, and I think it's a good tool for everybody to use. And we will definitely have to do another one of these here coming up. Maybe we'll do a beat Howard Bender one together. We haven't done that yet. We've done the FLC one, this Fantasy Life Championship, but we haven't done the Beat Howard Bender League. So you've been doing those every week as well. If people want to get into that, it's a contest, gives away $10,000 for the grand prize. It's a best ball contest, 1.5 points per reception for the tight end. So it's tight end premium from the tight end whisperer. And Howard, if they've never used our site, if someone's never
Ooh.
used our site, what can they do to get a discount?
Oh, you do wonderful things. Go to go to RTSports.com, right? I automatically like it's the muscle memory here.
I know, I hear you.
Go to RTSports.com/Bender. Is that page right there? That'll take if you've never deposited, you click on deposit, it should auto populate the promo code Bender. You get a 50% deposit match up to $500.
There you
So
go.
if you're planning on doing some fantasy life championships, or any of the other high stakes action there, that's the deposit bonus is huge, absolutely huge for you on that front. So rtsports.com/Bender, promo code Bender will get you that 50% deposit match up to 500. And then when you go to that page, also you'll see a button that says Draft Against Me, and that'll give you the dates and times and all the drafts for the Beat Howard Bender draft
Yeah,
as well. And I'll tell you what, we're going to be rocking it with the Pick'em contest picks as soon as like the NFL season gets started up. It's going to be a big year.
I
Big,
agree. We got some
huge.
big things on the horizon too, just to not to tease it too much. We got some other stuff in the works and I'm excited about. So big stuff happening here at RT Sports. So it should be a great football season. We're really looking forward to it, and hopefully everybody enjoys the changes we're making here and getting used to them all. And again, if you have any suggestions for anything, send it to support@rtsports.com. We're uh, open to your suggestions and definitely want to hear your feedback. So again, thanks so much, Howard, for jumping on, doing this. We'll have to do it again next week. And appreciate everybody watching. We have a lot of viewers in here, a lot of people commenting. It's been a lot of fun doing this. Let's see your last pick before we get out of here. Darius Slayton. So you went receiver, Darius Slayton. I mean, someone's got to start next to Malik Neighbors, right?
Somebody has to, right? Exactly. It's not going to be, I don't know if it's going to be Darnell Mooney.
I don't either. I'm not convinced. Malachi Fields? Isn't he the other option? Who knows?
I don't think there is. I don't think there's what a crazy build. I have so many receivers sitting on my bench right now. This is crazy. I mean, listen, like Ashton Genty, Javonte Williams, Bashal Tutin, and Chuba Hubbard as my top 4 running backs. I like that very much. Like I feel very secure with that. And
Yeah.
then, back end of the draft, I just had to hammer wide receiver just to get some, decent depth behind Nico Collins and DJ Moore. I like this build. I like what I've done here. Could this be the one? We'll have to see.
$500,000. We'll see. We'll have to keep track. Again, you only start 2 receivers in this, so it's 2 receivers, 2 running backs, 2 flex. So gives you some flexibility here to do different builds, and interesting to see how it plays out, Howard. Again, thanks so much for joining me. Appreciate it. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week.